Welcome back to Morning Joe. Willie, how do you put the past 24 hours into perspective?
No problem,
15
Joe.
seconds, go. I'm joking. What's your big takeaway?
Well, I think that gun meeting, I think the question will be, as Amy Klobuchar and Adam Kinzinger and Pat Toomey all said on this show this morning, will be whether or not actually the things that came out of the president's mouth in that meeting are things that A, he genuinely believes, and B, can be turned into policy. It was fascinating to watch Senator Klobuchar play this game of sort of propping up the president and saying literally out loud, I think if we reinforce for him out loud and say these things that he's been saying publicly, if we say it enough and we reinforce that what he said was good, maybe it will turn into policy. We will see, Noah.
Yeah, mine's not really the top news of the day, but it should get a lot of attention, and that's the Jared Kushner story. This is not the first time that a senior advisor to the president has humiliated the principal in the White House. That's unacceptable. No White House would tolerate this. If he wasn't his son-in-law, he'd be out the door, and he should consider moving on for the good of this administration.
I've already kind of moved on to what's going to happen today, and I want to see if the new trade war is actually going to start. The president's been saying he's going to raise tariffs on steel. This is contentious within the administration. And I wonder, who is he going to back? Is he going to back Wilbur Ross, who supports this move, or Secretary Mattis, who says, let's slow down and let's really examine this?
Let's go back to ancient history, which was about 24 hours ago, and we barely talked about it at all now, which is the kind of ongoing torture of Jeff Sessions, who he doesn't seem capable of firing, who Jeff Sessions seemed to be starting to push back a little bit yesterday in that tweet, which was this bizarre back and forth between the president and the attorney general. We'll see where that plays out, but it does seem to be a bit of an impasse because you sort of wonder what the end game is for either.
Joe, I would just sprinkle in, Joe, as we send it to you as well, that the president's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was arraigned yesterday on money laundering, conspiracy charges, and his trial date was set for September, which means there will be a trial about Russia as we head into the midterms.
And, of course, as we've been saying all morning, the Manafort investigation's moving forward, but also Bob Mueller's investigation seems to be picking up steam very quickly. He's got more support among the American people than he's had. And, my gosh, there's still a long way to go in that investigation if you look at where he's going. I wanted to pick up really quickly, though, on what Noah said, Willie, and that is that not only is the president, I'm sure, steaming about Jared Kushner being on the front pages of the newspaper, but also reports that he's very angry about Ben Carson embarrassing him. It's going to be very curious to see what happens over the next 24 to 48 hours. What we start hearing not only about Jared, but also Ben Carson. So we shall see. Want to thank everybody for being with us. And Stephanie Ruhle, now it is her task to try to jam about 6 weeks of news in a 1-hour newscast. Stephanie, good luck.